Chase success with global.media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yes, all right. We are live. Welcome again to another edition of our Positivity live stream. And I want to say a happy weekend, a happy Friday to everyone out there in the world. For you, it might be a good morning for those of you in the Pacific time zone. Then good afternoon for those of us in the Eastern time zone, and good evening for everyone in the UK, in the US, and for those of us in the Asia continent. I know it's very early in Saturday morning right now. We are like 1 a.m. Saturday morning, 2 a.m. Saturday morning. We say hi, we say hello to everyone, depending on where you are joining us from. So we say thank you and welcome. If you are joining us live, kindly drop in a comment. Tell us where you are joining us from because we want to shout you out, want the world to know that you are here with us. It's always a privilege for us to be here week in, week out every Friday to bring in the energy, to bring in the positivity. Because one thing we know, and we've lived a life, that positivity is a game changer right now at this moment in this season. So much possibilities that await you when you embrace the power of positivity. That's why we are very intentional about bringing that awareness, about bringing that intentionality to people. And today's topic is a very powerful one. We're in the month of June, and June happens to be a month where we celebrate men's mental health. It's something we don't talk about often. It's something that is not talk about in the world. They can talk about the government, the politics, soccer, like the World Cup is going on right now. There are a lot of things going on. People can talk about it. But then coming back to the grassroots, the mental health of men globally is very, very important. So for us, we say we are dedicating today the third Saturday of the month of June to actually celebrate and encourage every man out there in the world. So if you're a man, as we celebrate you, we appreciate you, and want to let you know that it doesn't matter where you are right now in your life. It doesn't matter the phase you are. It does not matter the journey you are. It doesn't matter what you are going through right now. It doesn't matter how tough it is. It doesn't matter how overwhelming it is. We want to remind you that you are not alone. You are not alone. You are loved. You are supported. We we honor you. We celebrate you. Why? Because you are the best version of yourself. So if you are here with us this at this moment, and you know of a man that needs to hear this, oh, you mental health is a matter for all, for both male and female. Is a matter for all, but we are specifically dedicating today to all men out there. So if you know of somebody that needs to hear this, that needs to be part of this conversation, that needs to be encouraged, that needs to be supported, free, invite them, share the link, and tell the people that we are here so that they can be part of the conversation. Because why today we are very intentional about bringing that awareness because it's all about awareness. These thoughts has been out there in the world, but then how aware are we? How intentional are we? How how focused are we to really remind ourselves about what it means for men to be in that place where their mental health it's great, where they're in that place of strong mental health, where they're in that place where their mind is at peace, where they're in that place where it's okay to be vulnerable, where they're in that place where it's okay to be loved and feel love in their life. So today is a powerful conversation, and you know how we do it. It's a conversation where you are free to jump up on stage to be part of this place, and we will be so glad, we will be so excited to have you join us. Why? Because we believe that everyone deserves to hear this. The reason why we do this is because we believe so much in the power of positive collaboration and in the power of a positive community. Why? Because together we can actually do so much to make humanity better. We believe in the power of love, in the power of kindness, in the power of compassion, of empathy towards others. We live in a world where people are going through so much, but the ability for us to be kind to people, kind words, kind gesture, appreciate people, be grateful for people, goes a long way to make their life better. For us, that's one way we bring positivity to our community. We bring positivity to every one of us. I'm not seeing any comment yet. Maybe it's a glitch from my end. But if you're in the comment section, feel free, drop a comment, tell us where you are joining us from. We want to celebrate you. We want the world to know that you are here with us. If today is your first time, we are streaming on multiple platforms, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and also on Twitch. We are on all platforms. Why? Because our goal is to reach out to more people, to impact more people, to inspire more people to keep living their best life. And if you don't know me, I remember my humble said, Zion Inaugural, your Mr. Positive Energy, the man who is on a mission to spread positivity to every corners of the earth, 1 million people at a time. I'm a positivity coach and mentor. I help people embrace the power of positivity intentionally. And I also host online events just like this. For anyone out there, you have a voice, you have a message, you want to impact more people, to reach out to more audience through online events, feel free, reach out to me. We go on a journey where we impact people with your message all over the world. With that being said, I'm not alone in the building today. I already have my co-host, my friend, my brother, all the way from the United States. I know Mr. Ennie will be joining us very soon. But then, King Jamin, welcome. Happy Friday. Say hi to everyone.
Yes, happy Friday, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Like Zion was saying, shout out in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. As we all know, it's World Cup time right now, so everybody's all across the earth in different countries. So let us know where you're repping. And if you're watching the World Cup, I want to know, too, who you cheering for, because there's been a lot of great games so far. So, yes. We have a great conversation today. I am Jamie Edwards. I am coming to you from the United States. I'm in Illinois, about an hour outside of Chicago. And what I do, as you can see in my little frame on the bottom, Jam Sessions with Jamie. That's my company name. And like Zion is on a mission to spread positivity, right? I do the same. I'm also on a mission, too, to help as many people get hired faster. Right? That is what I do with Jam Sessions with Jamie. I am a career coach, and I help people with different stages of their job search and help them get hired faster, right? That's basically what I focus on in giving success to others so they can get hired faster, they can work a job with purpose, and they can feel good going to a job that they appreciate and they enjoy going to every single day. And what I do in my company is I help people with different parts of their job search. So I help people write resumes. So I write resumes from scratch. I help people with interview practice. So I help them with how to answer certain types of questions during the interview process, how to maintain their poise in the interview process and get hired and get over that hump so they can get a job offer. I also help people with their LinkedIn profiles. I help them get their profiles more visible so more recruiters and hiring managers can find them easier and they can get noticed faster, right? So I've been doing this now for a few years on my own. It's just me. There's nobody else that works for me or writes my resumes, anything. You're working with me specifically. So what you see is what you get. And we get a really good one-on-one relationship when we work together to help you get hired faster and ultimately start making money again, because we know that the job market is a very tough job market. There's a lot of people out there who are looking for opportunities. And my job is to make it easier because it can feel very redundant and it's very easy to feel alone. And my job is to make people not feel alone and get hired. So that is what I do. I'm excited, like I said, for today's conversation. I do see, we do have some more comments in here. I do see Sharon is tuning in. She says a cool 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, definitely not cool over there in Phoenix. So good to see you, Sharon. Thanks so much for tuning in here. We got Soul Light and Body on YouTube all the way from New Jersey. So good to see you. Thank you so much. And we got Karen and Joan together watching us. So good to see you. We got Roxy, Easy Math and Money Says hello everyone, happy Friday. Thank you for joining as well. And Aurelio Jimenez has a nice comment here talking about wishing us all health, happiness, prosperity, peace, and love. Yes, and a lot of good stuff in there. Thank you so much, Aurelio, for being here. And William Rochelle, we see you here as well. Says I'm here. So we got some people in the comments here, but keep the shout outs going. Fun Me says good evening, everyone. The Beacon Mama, good to see you. Thank you for being here. And Zion has posted the link. So we're going to share our thoughts today on today's topic. And we're going to open up the floor to have anybody that wants to come on stage and talk about our topic of men being vulnerable. So that's what we're looking forward to today. Got a lot of good stuff to say. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to my co-host, Zion. So he can start us off here. And then once Ennie joins, we'll have Ennie quickly introduce himself as well. So he can go ahead and share his thoughts too. So Zion, back to you.
Thank you so much, King Jamie. I had to refresh my page because I was not seeing the comments. Then now I can see the comment on my screen. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It's so amazing and so light and body. Yes, these are my sisters, Joanne and Karen. I know they had an event today. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Yes, 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 yes. She said it's amazing. It's a happy Friday, Karen Pascal and Joanne Williams. Yeah, thank you so much, sisters, for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your amazing support always. Yes, Sharon, we see you. Thank you. We appreciate you. Yes, Karen and Joanne are joining all the way from New Jersey. We appreciate you so much. All right, Mr. Ennie is in the building. Hello, Mr. Ennie. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm good. Sorry, a bit late. And like I said, this is my Fridays until my son gets his driving license. So I'm all good. Glad to be here. How you doing, Jamie?
I am good. Thanks so much. Good to see you, Ennie. Glad you're on here, and good to see that everything's well.
Cool.
Yeah, we are back kicking off, Mr. Ennie. So we've introduced ourselves. We just pass the mic to you so you can go ahead, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you are helping people before we move forward in the conversation proper.
Yeah, so my life is spent helping people to get seen, to get trusted, and to sell more. So I do marketing, but also more than marketing. So my real passion these days is to write the books, sell the books, and impact more lives. So my friends are ringing, I say, we'll do. Look, and I say, like, as long as I'm doing the book stuff, I'm happy. So I've got a few books coming out. Of course, we've got our book coming out, our book to do yet, our positivity book. It is coming soon, so it's on the job. So life is great. So,
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Ennie. Maybe you can just work a little bit on the audio. It was a bit faint and cutting in and out.
okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, but the volume is a bit low.
It's kind of like faint too a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of like hard to hear. Maybe it was on my end, but I couldn't hear like normal, like your voice.
I've turned the volume up. Is that better?
A little bit.
Yes, a little better.
The only other thing I can.
Oh, it's totally off now. But it's okay, Mr. Ennie.
And then I got my new camera coming on Wednesday. So
Ooh.
it's like the last time we talked about my volume being weird, being strange. So, move this
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ennie, and thank you everyone for joining us. Like I said, if you want to be part of the conversation, feel free to join us on stage. That's the link. Input it on your browser. It's going to take you to the backstage where you can be part of the conversation. We always believe that everyone has something unique to say because as our faces are different, that's the same way our stories are different. The story is unique. My story is unique. And the ability for us to share our story out there give us the privilege to be able to inspire and to impact other people. So don't be shy. If you're in a place where you cannot put on your camera, it's okay. Just take off your camera as long as we can hear you. Feel free, join in the conversation. Let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear your insight on the question: can men be vulnerable? The fear of opening up in men. This is something that we need to deal with. Why? Because it's a conversation that we don't talk about often. We really love women from the ladies' perspective, because like we are all men on stage today, so it shouldn't be all men party, all men conversation. But hearing from the perspective of women out there would be really good to spice up the conversation and to chip in from their own perspective. Why? Because it's a very profound topic. We have men out there in the world. For everywhere you go to, you're going to come across a male figure in your office, in your workplace, in a grocery shop, in at the mall, at the bus stop, anywhere you go to, you're definitely going to meet a man on your way. And you never know what they're going through. You might not know what they are going through deep down. And we are living in a world where the society has painted a picture, where the society has made us believe that to open up as a man, it means weakness. You know, to speak up as a man, it means that you are not man enough. To tell people how you truly feel, it means, oh, you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man. But that's not true. That's not true. Because there are many people out there who are buckling up. You know, I saw a research earlier that we have higher percentage of men committing suicide than women. That's true. It's happening all over Earth. We see more men committing suicide. We see more men, a lot of things happening with men. And the reason why all this are happening is because why the society has made us believe that we are not supposed to speak up as men. Society has made us believe that no, don't talk, just buckle it up. You are a man, man up. They always say man up, man up, man up. But at the end of the day, manning up has made most men, to be in that place where they are feeling down, they are feeling depressed, they are feeling discouraged, they are feeling they cannot go up anymore. Why? Because they are trying to man up. What if one conversation can change that? What if talking to somebody can make a difference? What if telling how you truly feel within you can actually save that person from committing suicide? A place where we are free, a place where we are not judged, a place where it's okay to be vulnerable. That's a space that is the ideal space we want to create, so that all men out there can feel okay to share their thoughts, to say how they feel. For me, living in Africa, living in Nigeria, we live in a society where you always hear, be a man, be a man, man, don't cry, men don't cry, don't cry, buckle it up. I remember a few years ago, that should be 13 years ago, when I lost my dad. And I just lost my dad. And I'm supposed to feel it. I'm supposed to grieve. I'm supposed to mourn. And somebody's telling me, you're a man, don't cry, buckle it up, you're a man. What on earth are you saying? But to be honest with you, at that moment, I man up according to them. Oh, you have to man up, you don't need to cry. But that had a great toll on me. It had a very great effect on me. Why? Because I was supposed to let out how I feel. I was supposed to cry what I needed to cry. I was supposed to grieve, because crying is one way to grieve. If you need to cry, you cry. If you need to scream, you scream. It's one way to grieve. But because I had man up, you need to be a man, I never did all that at the moment. But when I'm in my closet or I'm in my room, my heart felt so heavy. It felt so heavy. It felt so frustrating. It felt so overwhelming. It felt like I want to give up. And I'm using that as a case study. Why? Because for some, it might not just be a death of a loved one. It can just be finances. Maybe you don't have finances as a man, because one of the major things, I had conversation with few men within the week, and one of the major variables for all men that they might be facing at one point or the other, it's the financial constraints. It's the finances. And when the finances are not there, I tell you, nobody really wants to hear, as a man, you don't have finances, you are not a man, you are not responsible, you are not good enough. And then even when people get to hear it, they'll be like, how can you be a man and you say you're not financially stable? How can you be a man? You say you're not financially, you don't have finances to sort out your bills, to do what you need to do. And at the end of the day, people tend to buckle up, people tend to swallow it. Not that it is pride, but the fear of being judged, the fear of what people would say about them. For me, if there's one thing I've learned as a man on my journey in being vulnerable, in opening up, is this: as a man, find a safe space. Who are the people in your life you can truly be yourself around them without trying to fake it, without trying to paint it, without trying to buckle it up? Now, there might not be many. It can just be one person in your life. It can just be two people in your life who allows you to be yourself. Because the fear of being judged is one of the major reasons why most men do not open up. The fear of being looked down upon, that's the reason why most men does not open up. They tend to buckle it up. I've had cases where I was vulnerable to certain persons, and at the end of the day, when we had a little misunderstanding, it was the vulnerability that I shared with them that they use against me. And for me, at that point, I said, "Oh no, I will never be vulnerable to anybody again. I'm going to buckle it up. I'm going to keep it all to myself." But then it was at my own disadvantage. But I thank God I've learned along the way in my journey to understand that I cannot control how people react. I cannot control what people do. I cannot control what people say, but I can only control what I say, how I think, and what I do. So that's why that have happened, but that would not stop me for being vulnerable to the people I trust. So it made me to, okay, I will not be vulnerable to everybody. I have to trust you, know you, have conversation with you, make sure that we are aligned then, and know that okay, this person can actually keep things, can actually keep what has been told to them. They are not lousy, they are not the one that talks and say everything in their, like supposed to be made secrets and say it all out. So for me, being able to know the kind of people I can be vulnerable to really helped me so much. Another thing I did in my journey is most time as men, we try to figure it all out by ourselves. We don't want to ask for help. We don't want to ask for people's, maybe people's input. We want to sort it out all by ourselves. But if there's something I've learned, it's asking for Jamie's opinion or Jamie's thoughts or his support. It's part of the journey. That's what makes the journey interesting. Reaching out to Mr. Any and say, "Oh, Mr. Any, I actually have this problem. Can you help me solve it?" It's not bad. It's something that has to be done as a community. Knowing that you have a friend, you have a brother, you have a sister, you have a colleague, you have a mentor that you can actually reach out to and say, "You know what, I need help with it. Can you help support me with this?" That's how it should be. But because the society has trained us to say, "Oh no, men does not ask for help," a lot of us, we try to sort it out all ourselves. We try to figure it out all by ourselves. And at the end of the day, what might take you 1 week or 2 weeks to sort out, because you are doing all that by yourself, it's going to take you years to fix. It's going to take you months to sort out. It's going to take you a lot of time to deal with. Why? Because you are trying to do it all by yourself. For me, I've learned to ask questions as a man. I've learned to seek for help as a man. I've learned to, you know what, I need to be vulnerable. Because I've been in that place myself where I buckle it all up, where to be vulnerable is very difficult for me because I feel they might laugh at me, or they might have something negative to say about me, or they might think I'm lazy, they might think I'm not serious in my life, or they might think, "Oh, I'm not man enough." But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, whatever they say is their thoughts. But for me, being able to speak out most of the time helped me to release the pressure in my heart, the overwhelming feelings I feel. You know, I think within the week I had a conversation with Mr. Any, something that okay, I've been having a thought in my, and because we had a conversation with it, the solution just came on boom, just like that, and we're able to move forward to do greater things with what we shared together. Imagine I've kept it to myself, thinking all about it on myself, I could have been at a standstill. So looking out for people in your cycle to be able to share It's very okay. So for any man out there listening to us this morning, we appeal to you and we encourage you. I know you might have had experiences of people who have betrayed you, who have backstabbed you, who have done, negative things because of your vulnerability. It's okay. And I'm sure for every one of us, we've had experiences like that with people in our life. But we will not allow those kind of people stop us from growing. We will not allow those kind of people stop us from moving forward. We will not allow those kind of experience stop us from doing what we need to do as men. It's a powerful conversation today. I don't just want to keep going on and on and on. I'm really going to give the mic to our co-host today so that they can be able to also share their thoughts. I think we have a guest at the backstage already and with us. Yes, we have a guest on the backstage. Okay, so we can give everybody a time to share and be able to share their thoughts on this conversation today. So, King Demi, I know you have been here with us for a while on the stage, and we really love to hear your thoughts about this conversation of can men be vulnerable, and how do we deal with the fear of opening up among men? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Zion, you really shared a lot of good thoughts there. And, I think we don't talk about this enough, right? That, you mentioned in the beginning of the conversation how we say things like man up, right? And things like that. And it kind of drills things into our heads as men that we should hide emotions, right? And not really process them, but just keep them to ourselves, right? And other things kind of like boys don't cry, right? You hear that a lot sometimes, oh, grow up, boys don't cry, we don't cry, or be tough, every time, and it kind of drills in our heads that, we're not supposed to have those emotions, that we're basically supposed to hide those things, right? And I think what it comes down to is the real strength is really it's not pretending that nothing hurts. It's basically facing those emotions and moving forward, right? And not thinking that if you need to man up, like, it's okay to come out. It's okay to show that emotion, right? The strength is being able to show it and acknowledge that you need help with something, or that you need assistance, and to reach out to somebody and show that emotion. It's not hiding it. Hiding it doesn't do anything for you, because when you don't come out and you don't bring it out, nobody knows what's going on and nobody can help you with anything, right? So I think those things that, I don't like those things, man up. I don't like that boys don't cry, things like that, right? What I think is that, when you're vulnerable, it lets people obviously want to find out what's going on, right? But really the setback is that when people, and not just men in general, but like when we think that we're opening up, we think that sometimes we're pushing others away, right? That if we open up, we're pushing others away that maybe don't want to help us because we're revealing too much, right? We're sharing too many struggles and people don't want to acknowledge it and they don't want to help us out with things. But really, when we share those struggles and we talk about the things that we need help with and we open up to others about those things, it really spreads that to other people and gives them permission to do the same thing, right? Lets them talk about their struggles. That's how you build those relationships. That's how you get trust. That's how you form a relationship with somebody and you start getting involved with things, because when one person opens up, it kind of is a chain reaction. Other people open up. Maybe they share the same thing. And I do want to say one thing here. I'm looking at the comments here because we have some stuff coming out here, but I saw Sharon talk about something. Yeah, right there. She lost a beautiful soul herself, right? Someone who's a self-made millionaire, someone who's a leader, a mentor to kids, right? And she lost this person to suicide. And when you think about it, I mean, somebody like this had a lot of money, right? And this is my go to show too, that money's not always the end all be all, right? But like this person was obviously not just somebody who had a ton of money. They were a leader. They were a great mentor to kids, right? But obviously they were sharing some demons inside, or they were dealing with demons inside. And I don't want to, jump to conclusion, but maybe a lot of people didn't know this was going on, right? Maybe this person would be here today if there was more open up about this and somebody was able to help this person, right? So like, it's real. Rates are going up and men are struggling when they get somebody in a midlife crisis or they go through things, right? And this is why it's so important to open up and talk about these things, right? And it's so important if we're struggling, we need to, it's not just about, there's a lot of things that we struggle with, right? We might struggle with anxiety, something going on. Maybe we're depressed about something. maybe we're burned out from just working so much and going through things, but that's, there's just a lot of things going on there. So and actually I'm gonna I got Erica's calling me right now, so I'm gonna jump off for a second, but I'm gonna pass over to Ennie so he can share more thoughts. I might have some more stuff to say here shortly, but I'm gonna pass over to Ennie, and then I'll try to jump on a little bit and finish the process. Over to you, Ennie.
Thank you so much. As you say, there's many amazing comments. I see Sharon Rose says, showing emotions, shoving emotions down and not processing compound to issues. So true, right? So we do see you. So, of course, we see you on stage. We'll come to you in a second, right? So another good comment. True masculinity is not measured by how much pain a man can hide, but how much honestly he can face it, express it, and grow from it. Vulnerability is not the absence of strength; it is the foundation of emotional courage. I think that's probably where I want to start, right? Of course, there's many more great comments. Dr. Roxana, we see you. I don't know who the neurological impacted. I don't know what that is. I can't work out the name from there, right? But I'll leave that. Lisa, welcome as well. Who else do I see? Uncle Mike is here. Thank you so much, everyone, spending your time with us. Look, Mrs. Z, this is it's an easy one, but it's a hard one. It's an easy one because we're all men. We live this life, right? And I'm not sure anyone said any hide your emotions. I know for you, you said that was your case when your father passed, Mrs. Z, right? So I can understand that. I can understand some, it does. People just say it to men, but I think, I've got two sons. I've never said to them, hide your emotions, not once. But I'll tell you what I think happens at best of times. Mrs. Z, you mentioned the ego problem that men have. Too much pride is asked for help. That I think is definitely true. I think another one you mentioned was fear. So again, I think we fear the emotions we might feel and how we're going to deal with them, right? See, and I think that fear comes that it's not just what people say about us if we break down, start crying in public, for example. I think there's more to it than that. See, take today, right now. Today is 19th of June. It's missing, right? What's going on right now? There's football, World Cup, is on, right? And do you know a shocking statistic? This is the most miserable time for most women in relationships. Think of that for a second. Why is this the most miserable time for women in relationships? Because men will lash out for whatever reason. Whether the team wins or the team loses, domestic abuse goes through the roof. Because some men can't control themselves. They can't control the upsets if their team loses. They can't control if they drink too much. They can't control if they're frustrated by things in life. I think that's a real problem I see. Right? Most men can't control their emotions when they're frustrated, especially. And almost like we have to blame someone. You see, when I say frustration, I think we need to learn how to control those emotions. Yes, shove them down, keep them down. Your team loses is not the end of the world. It's just not. It doesn't matter to anyone. They might win tomorrow. Get over it, right? Don't lash out at people. Don't make other people's lives and your kids' life, your family's life in misery because your team lost. That's simply if you're frustrated at work, don't lash out at people for the sake of it. Look around you. That's what we see every day. Men will lash out because they can't control their emotion. See, it's Stanley Green. I thought it's Stanley Green, right? He talks about it's that first reaction. He talks about impulse control. So men have to learn how to control their impulses. Right? If you feel angry, don't lash out at someone. Please don't. Really not. Because if you think about it, if you think about your emotions for a second or two, if you breathe deeply, you suddenly realize that you can get past this. It's not that deep. See, no one tells men this reality. Everyone just says, "Yeah, oh, you're a man. So it's all right to be angry. It's not all right to be angry. It's not all right to be frustrated. It's not all right to lash out at people. It's just not, right? I'm saying control your emotions, right? Look, a real man will tell you how they feel. Real men will feel everything. We'll feel pain. We'll feel disappointment. We'll feel sadness. We'll feel all the things all the emotions that we can feel, right? We're human. We feel all that. It's how we deal with the feelings that matters. It's how we deal with those feelings that we have to tell our sons it's not someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Some things you can just get through, but if you can't get through it, ask for help. I ask for help every day. Like you said, Mrs. You're like, we're friends, we talk, right? We discuss our problems and we find solutions.
Yeah.
In business, you're going to be frustrated every day, pretty much, right? Customers who say no, customers don't pay you. I'm saying, what are you going to do? Burn the house down? You're not, right? You're just not. You have to learn to control yourself and then think along a simple line. The question you ask yourself is, how can I get what I want in this situation? And 9 out of 10 times is called communicating. Talk to people. Talk to people. If we don't communicate, if we don't learn to communicate, we're never going to solve anything in our lives. So maybe I don't want to talk all day. The second thing I would say really is we have to find a purpose to our life. It's not about money. Yes, I know. Men are meant to provide. Men are meant to be strong ones, right? It's not about that. It's the fact that in this life, the quickest way to being frustrated, being annoyed, is when you feel like your life is pointless. It's when you feel like you are not a man. You have no control over anything. The only way to have control over something in our lives, over our lives as a whole, is to find our purpose. What is your God-given gift? When you start living your God-given gifts, we're much less frustrated, much less angry, much less easily triggered. Because we're sure of ourselves. I think that's a call on all of us, man, woman, even children, right? Find your purpose. And when you find your purpose, live each day as your best self. Now, I'll give you a quick example, then I'll stop talking, right? Here's an example for you. Look, for years and years and years, I thought, I'm the man in the house. My wife's here to cook for me, clean for me. Stupid me. Now, of course, no one. I don't have a servant. I've got a wife, right? It took me a long time to realize that my wife actually doesn't like cooking for everyone, cleaning for everyone. Now, maybe for the kids, she doesn't mind doing it. For the husband, she minds doing it because she's thinking, "What, are you another kid? No, you're not. You're a grown man. Do your own thing, right? Cook your own food. Wash your clothes. We all can. There's a washing machine over there. Go use it, right?" So it took me years. It took me many years to learn to be self-sufficient, to treat my wife as an equal, as someone that we're in a partnership. We're here to work together. If I'm nice, she'll be nice. If I'm annoyed, then she'll be annoyed. If I'm frustrated, she'll be frustrated too. If I'm going to treat her like a slave, then she will soon down tools, which is going to get me even more annoyed, right? So every day I chose to I will do my part to make this partnership work. Sometimes it means me doing some things that she can't do. Carry the bag of sand, I'll do that. Dig a hole, I'll do that. Look after the kids, she'll do that quite happily. I'm saying, so it's just bringing my best self every day, and learning to be a nice person and learning to be a partner in a partnership. I'll leave it there.
Wow.
Hopefully
Feel
free. Go, Mrs.
yes, a partner in the partnership. No, I think it's a powerful message that people need to sink in, because most of the time the misunderstanding that we find ourselves in is because there is no synergy, there is no partnership. Partnership is partnership. So you have to be a partner. So you are the half of the other, and the both of you and both of you complement each other to do what you need to do. I think and Fumi's mic is on. If she wants to share for now. Fumi, are you there with us? Yes, you can go ahead if you want to.
Hello, for me, please. No, the mic.
All right. Okay. I was commenting.
We'll mute ourselves. Now, please, carry on talking. If we don't hear you, we'll let you know. We'll say something, all right? So feel free.
Okay, can you hear me? All right. Okay. Okay, what I just want to share position say, can men be vulnerable? And my answer is yes. One thing that I would love every man, every guy to hold on to is that you are a human. Being a man doesn't mean less of a human. Before that, you have one superpower. You're now more harder. No, you are a man, but you are first human. So you have emotions. You have the ability to cry when you need to cry, to be sad when things are not happening. So at that thought of, oh, I'm a man, is as though you're not superior. No, you're a human, and humans are prone to emotions. And so I think every guy should accept that fact, that truth, that I am a human. So when things happen our way, we are free to. In the Bible, there's a scripture that said that Jesus wept. He wept because at that moment Jesus was a man. You know, he was carrying on emotions and the expression of a human. And when he lost his friend Lazarus, he wept. Jesus Christ gave us an example. He gave us an example. And then also I think in that chapter it says that a high priest who understands our feelings. So if and who are you that a man on earth that you cannot cry? So I feel that every man can be vulnerable. Then I think where we now have issues is the fact that because the society has programmed it that you're a man, don't cry. No, you're a human, and then because you're a human, you are free to express yourself. Just be like Zion shared and everybody has been sharing. Be discerning of who you speak to. Be discerning of who you are vulnerable to. So you will not speak to the wrong person who will take it against you. But know that you are a human, and then you have the right. It's your right. Like you're free to cry if you need to cry. Yes, it's not doesn't make you less, doesn't make you weak, doesn't make you not being able to it doesn't mean that you are failed. No, just know that you're a human, and then after crying, then get to speak to people, because sometimes crying also makes the whole thing go down. So after you've expressed yourself, by yourself, and then look for somebody who listens to you, who understands, not just anybody, not just any person, but people who listen. And then also we also start training our young boys as they are growing. Those statement of don't cry, you fail, don't cry, you're a man. Those statements should not be happening, should not be said in our homes anymore, because that's where those notions started from. A young child just fell, and then they tell him, don't cry, you're a boy, you're a man. No, if the child fell, allow him cry first. Then before you say sorry, before you pet him. So those things, we shouldn't repeat the same thing. What has been happening around, we shouldn't repeat it. We shouldn't not continue with it. It should stop with us. The narrative should change with us. Since we have understood better, we know better now. Let's train our sons to express their emotions. If when in a healthy way, teach them healthy ways to express how they feel at every point in time. And always make sure that let them that they are humans and they are free to express themselves the way they feel. Thank you so much. To say.
It's very profound. We really appreciate you so much. Yes, help us to mute your mic to avoid feedback. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. I love when you said, being a man, we are first humans. So in other words, We have feelings, we have emotions, and it's okay to express those feelings. The emotions that we have or the feelings we have, they are not there for us to subdue it. They are there so that we can actually express it, so that we can actually let it be there, because we are humans. So a lot of people forget this truth that as a man, you are first a human. You have blood flowing through your veins. It's not chemicals. It's not it's not energy fluid that is flowing through your vein. It is blood, and the blood is not blue. It's not green. It is red blood flowing through your vein. So the ability for us to recognize that, it's very, very important, because I think most men, from my conversation with people, men, they see themselves as superhumans. They see themselves as the superheroes in the movies, like the Spider-Mans, the Batman, the Iron Man, the Wolverine. They see themselves like that, which is not supposed to be so. You are first a human being, then you are a man. So the ability for you to actually express it, it's okay. And as Fumi was talking, if there's one thing I heard it, for most men who are going through a challenge right now, are going through a difficult season, the way out is not suicide. The way out of the difficult time, the way out of the challenge is not taking your life. My father, blessed memory, will always say, "These two will pass." As simple as it is, these two shall pass. Have you ever been in a situation before, few years back or months back, and you thought you can never come out of it? But here you are, you've overcome, you've passed that ordeal, and you are living your life. So in every phase of our life, we tend to face challenges. And at that moment, it can be so overwhelming, feel like you cannot go on anymore. I just want to encourage you that these two shall pass. It shall pass. Yes, it can take months, it can take weeks, it can take years, but I encourage you that these two shall pass. And the way out of the challenge you are going through right now, the way out of the difficult season you are going through right now, it's not suicide. It's not taking your life. It's not ending it. Because think about the loved ones, your children, your spouse, your siblings, your parents that you are leaving behind, who are going to embrace the shock, the pain, the agony, the sadness in their heart. Think about them for a second. So you don't need to say, "Oh, let me end my life," and then the problem disappears. That's not the way out. And that's why we are all here. We are a community. We are friends. We are brothers. We are sisters. If there's anything you're currently going through right now that looks so difficult, it might be difficult for you because you're handling it all by yourself. But when we begin to handle it together as a team, as a group, as a community, the weight becomes lighter. Imagine you are carrying a brick, a stone brick, and you're the only person carrying it. It feels so heavy. But when you have somebody else putting their hand to the brick and you're lifting it up together, it becomes lighter. The more the people that takes the load, the lighter it becomes. So we encourage you right now. The load might be too heavy for you to carry. The body might be too heavy for you to carry on. That's why you are not supposed to carry it all alone, not all by yourself. By yourself, there's little you can do. But that's why I will always say that together we can do so much more. Life is no longer a solo sport. It's not a solo journey, it's a team sport. Together we win. Together we overcome. Together we survive. Together we achieve that which we want to achieve. So I encourage you at this very moment that take a deep breath and sit back. Yes, it might be difficult right now, but what if I talk to Annie about it? What if I talk to Zion about it? What if I talk to Jamie about it? What if I talk to Fumi about it? What if I talk to Leslie about it? What if I talk to Latifat about it? It's very easy. Sit down and have a second thought and say, okay, let me talk to somebody about it. Or maybe you talk to any and probably you are not feeling satisfied. Talk to Zion. But make sure that you are able to speak out. Because one of the pressure in men, that is one of the things that mounts the pressure more in men, is silence. Silence has taken away so many people from us. Silence has taken so much from us. We need to fight silence together in this journey that we are. Somebody might be smiling, and deep down they have so much heavy burdens in their heart. We had one of our lady friends, I think that was about a year ago, who was a very happy person. By the end of the day, the news came up that the person took her own life. And things like that happens every day. I've had experience of somebody who was very close to me. In fact, we saw that very day, and on the evening of it, I was called that, man, this person committed suicide and the person is gone. So I encourage us, let's speak out. Suicide is not the way out. Suicide is not the solution. Thinking about taking your life, that's not where the solution is. The solution is in you speaking out, reaching out to people, asking for help, and free to ask for help. And one thing I also encourage all men out there is, there's something that has really helped me so much. Don't worry about what people will say. We worry about what people will say too much. Oh, how it when they hear this, how would they see me? They will see me less. They will no longer appreciate me. They will no longer love me. They will no longer regard me. It's okay. For as long as you have done your part of letting go the burden, the pressure in your heart, that's what you need to focus on. Do not worry about what people will say or how people will judge you or what people will think about you, because we worry about the judgment too much that we forget about the solution that will come from us just sharing and talking to people. Now, this message, it's timely, and I believe there are more men out there that needs to hear this, that we are not alone. You are not alone. Now, when I say this, I mean it. It's not about your skin color. It's not about your background. It's not about your financial status. Our friend Sharon shared earlier in the comment section about a millionaire who took his life. Sometimes it's not even about having the money. People can still have all the money in this world and they can still feel depressed. People can have all the resources, all the connection, and they can still feel depressed. For some, it is the money. It's because they are in debt and there is no solution coming in. Maybe the people who they are holding the money is coming from them, bringing the police to their house and stuff like that. It can be so overwhelming. But in the midst of this overwhelming feeling, there is always a solution. So speak out, share your thoughts, reach out to somebody out there, because you don't know. That's where the solution might just be for you in whatever it is that you are going through. Yes, I think we have some few people joining us. Thank you so much. Latifa, she says, hello everyone. Yes, it's been a while. Welcome. It's so good to see you. It said, Annie, it's been a while. Hi Annie, it's been a while. Indeed, it's been a while. Welcome. It's so good to have you. Leslie in the building. Thank you so much, Leslie. Say hey everyone from North Carolina, USA. Zion, Annie, and Olua Fumi. Thank you so much, Leslie, for being here with us. We appreciate you. Yeah, Sharon say movement is the best way to process and recalibrate. Then seek a trusted confidant to discuss and share. I love that. Discuss and share. It's in discussion. It's in having a conversation. Be open to have an honest conversation. Sometimes it's the honest conversation that we really need. That's where the solution to the problems are. Be open to share, to discuss, and have an honest conversation. Thank you so much, and Sharon. She also said, use the assignment with who you share with and what the receiver communicates. Yes, I lost my father suddenly and was devastated. I was in the counseling and they were treating grief like a natural human response. Our body never lies. Indeed, never lies. Our body never lies. The energy never lies. We really need to treat ourselves as a real human so that we understand, man, I'm a human. It's okay to feel the way I feel right now. But then, what can I do to make it better? How can we provide solution? What can we do to make us feel more alive? Now, I'm very glad this conversation is coming because I just to remind us is there are many people going through so much right now. Especially men, but not just men, even women as well. And they might not tell you, they might not say it. And that's where we being kind, we being loving to the people next to us is very, very important. Do not wait for somebody to tell you, oh, I want to take my life before you are caring for people. No. For most people, you are waiting for the person to come and tell you, oh, I want to take my life. I'm depressed. Oh, I want to commit suicide before you feel that the person needs support. You don't need people. At all times, make sure you are spreading love, you are spreading kindness, because you don't know who you might be helping. You don't know whose life you might be transforming by just being kind to people. One kind word can save the person. One kind word. Just telling somebody you love them can be a game changer for them not to commit suicide anymore, not to feel depressed. Because people are so lonely in our world. Thousands of people are lonely in our world. For some, they don't even have family members, they don't have friends. All they do is they go to their job, they come back, they don't talk to people, they don't build relationship. People are so lonely in our world. But we being a beacon of light to inspire people like that, to encourage people like that, to be there for people like that can go a long way to save the next person who might be thinking about committing suicide and taking their life. We all have a role to play. We all have a role to play. The role of can men be vulnerable is a question we need to ask ourselves. If they want to be vulnerable, can they be vulnerable to me? Am I in the best place or in the best position for people to be vulnerable to me? Because it's not just to be vulnerable. Can they be vulnerable to you? Can they be free to open up to you and share what is really in their heart without being judged, without being condemned, without being looked down on? That's how we all have a key role to play in making sure that we bring this awareness more, in making sure that more people get to hear this. Why? Because we need to save more people. And we need to create a safe space where people are free to be themselves. There is no faking it. I think Mr. Animation is like, be yourself. Be yourself. There is no need to pretend. The energy to pretend is so exhausting. The energy to to be who you are not is so exhausting. Why not use that same energy to just be yourself? Express yourself. No pressure to perform, no pressure to act, no pressure to impress, no pressure to make people think otherwise of you. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. It can save you the stress of trying to be who you are not. And being yourself can just be what you need to have clarity in finding solution to that problem, in finding solution to that challenge you are going through right now. But being your true self. If we can be our true self, then we can truly express who we are, express our giftings, express our talents, and be able to make the impact that we need to make. I know Mr. Ini might have one or two to chip in. Yes, after the conversation that we already have today. If you want to join us, feel free. Like I said earlier, that's the link on the screen to join us on stage and be part of the conversation.
So, welcome, Mr. Cyrus. We see you. Of course, I see my super editor, Alexis, is here as well. Welcome, all of you. Now, Mr. Z, look, you're saying you are making of course, the right points, right? I think that there's some gaps in, I guess, maybe the old ways and the old things that used to be there for men to be is changing. In the UK, men used to go to pubs sit and drink with other men. Right? You know, again, it's not about the drinking. It's having that space, that almost safe space that you can talk to, your friends. It's what it comes down to, really. Today, those spaces, they're less around. You know, many pubs are closing. Many men don't have that space to go to. Right? I think, maybe we can create some spaces in society, where men will feel able to go to. But I don't know if that's the answer. I'm saying no. I mean, there's women spend, a woman can go to the hairdressers and talk honestly with the hairdresser, right? I'm sure, why can't men go to barbers? Well, I got no hair to go to barbers with. So, are you with me? I'm saying there's barriers to going to places that may or may not exist. Yeah, but the one thing I'll definitely say for sure is, as we all need to be more resilient. Things are not as bad as they seem. Things are rarely as bad as to be the end, as he's saying, right? Almost every problem can be solved one way or another, especially if we are, if we're man enough to ask for help. That's the only way I can say it, right? If we're big enough to ask for help, we can normally get through most things. You talked about the family that will leave behind if we would take drastic action, for example. See, I tend to look at it another way. I'm sure it's based on the song I heard a while ago, right? Think of all the people that have lived for us to live today. Your parents, your siblings, your family, your grandparents, they all lived all those many generations for us to be here today. So how can we deny our future generations by taking ourselves out, by stopping ourselves living? Literally, there's more to that. All those people who put the effort in and live for us to live, they deserve for us to live to help our next generation live too, right? And look, was it man or woman? I think the ability to reach out and say, "Yeah, I need help," whatever that may be. I need help. Look, here's the weirdest. Men do this every day. I struggle with the idea it's a men problem. I mean, I've had more than one person reach out to me today to say, "I need help." Yeah, and there were men. And one said, "Look, I screwed up. I got it all wrong completely, but can you still help me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." I'm saying, if we don't learn how to ask, and just drop the ego, just learn to ask. Ask, maybe it comes back to having friends in the first place. Make some friends, right? You said that earlier. Let's be the person who'll be there for others. That's how people will be there for us. The one thing you haven't said so far, Mr. C, which am I surprised now? But we'll raise it eventually, right? This is it, my friends. Never neglect the power of faith. See, the time when we feel all is lost is if we don't believe in anything. If we think it's me or the end. Are you with me? But let me tell you that. I know full well that the greater power than me, that is my God, the Spirit, they're there. They're there for me, right? And my belief in God tells me that nothing is terminal. Everything is fixable. Maybe I need to learn to listen more to what God's saying to me to fix the problem today. But I truly believe deep down, God will put the right person in front of me to help. I think if you believe that, then it's very hard to say this is the end. I give up. Deep down, we know that we're cared for. The greater power is looking after us, and if we just give it time and give it space, the solution will come to us. Even if the solution is do some work, or reach out to someone, or reach out to an agency. The solution is there. It's there. We are resilient enough that nothing's gonna, nothing can kill us. Really, look. I haven't got enough money. I've got bills. Yeah, the bills never killed anyone. Really not. All of us here have bills. We all do. No, but we're not going to do ourselves in. So we'll find a way to get to tackle the ones we can, right? However long that takes. So that's when you have faith in humanity and faith in the world to look after. Solutions will come to all of us. They do. That's how we got this far. Whether we're a man or not, that's not the issue. The issue is how much we believe in the greater power than us that will fix our problems. Again, you have to. It's how we think about the world. The problems I have are manageable for me. That's why God gave them to me. Think of that for a second. So if you truly believe that, then there's nothing that's impossible. If you don't believe that, I don't know what to say. Welcome back, Jamie. How are you doing?
I am good. Thank you so much. I was supposed to have a client and that didn't end up panning out, so I had jumped off, but I am back now. Can you guys see me and hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. Again, look, please, let's stick to that for a second. I don't see you crying. I don't see you having a breakdown, Jamie. I don't see you thinking this is the end of your life or your business. Just another issue to deal with, right? Another day.
Always. You got to roll with the punches, right?
Exactly that, my friend. Exactly that. Please carry on.
Yeah. So where do we kind of leave off? I know everyone kind of do we have any more speakers that need to come up here or, I was going to kind of finish what I was talking about right earlier, which was kind of talking about things that men struggle with, right? Like, we talked about, you kind of talked about a little bit about it too. You mentioned, or you saying any?
I said, please go for it.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about, struggling with anxiety or depression or burning out from our job, or we talk about money, right? Financial pressures and things like that, right? And a lot of times we might be angry deep down inside, or we might feel like there's no way out of things and we don't want to touch upon it. And we keep things to ourselves and it just builds up until we explode. And then, we don't know where to go at that point, right? So I really think, just to kind of finish what I was talking about before is the problem is not that the problem's not having emotions. It's believing that we have to hide them and we have to keep them balled up and we can't talk about those things. Right. So, what it comes down to is, everyone, men, in general, we're talking about men specifically, right? But just find somebody you can talk to about things. It can be a family member. It can be somebody on LinkedIn. It could be somebody you've been connected to for a while. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will listen to you and will try to understand where you're coming from, right? But the first step is to open up a little bit more and realize that it's okay for us to talk about these things, and it's okay for us. Everybody's got problems in life. Everybody's got issues going on. When we don't talk about them, though, that's when it just eats you up inside and you don't know where to turn to. And it spirals from there, right? When you let it all out, it's kind of like a balloon. You got everything out there. You've opened up. You feel better about yourself. And then the goal is to have other people help you out with those things and really be there for you and talk you through those things. And, everything then eventually comes together and gets better over time. So, like I said, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Right. But it's even better if we can talk about these things and we can bring it up and we can have it in an open setting.
I absolutely agree with you. There's no other way that we're going to solve issues. No one is an island. I don't think I've ever reached out for help and everyone and people have said, go away, Eddie, you're a man. I'm not going to help you. I said, really? There's always someone that we can talk to. That you say, okay, there's always someone that we can reach out to. I see many people these, I see people these days, which is most astonishing. They actually don't want help. They don't want to ask for help. There's no glory in suffering unnecessarily. Really not. I said some people think there's some sort of glory. You look more macho if you can suffer. No, there's no glory in suffering more pain than you need to. And just like I said, asking for help is the biggest thing you can do for yourself. The biggest thing we can do for everyone. So just finding a way to get to a stable place where we are happy again. Sometimes there's not much we actually need to do. It's good to talk. It's one of the sayings that we're having to come to. It's just talking. There's a saying somewhere, and I say if you talk, sharing the problem halves the problem, right? And it's much easier to find solutions for things that from others who've been through the same thing. As you said earlier, Mrs. Z, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel and going through the same pain unnecessarily, talk to someone who's been there before, and you can learn from them and bypass half the issues that they went through. I say, literally, reaching out for help is, it's a gift that we can give to others as well. I say, literally, I think we have to be willing to receive graciously, receive gratefully, and give graciously. We have this to the other way around if you want to. So, we have to be willing to give and to receive. Because that is just God's way of blessing people in life. If God puts someone in front of you to help you, and you say, "Oh, I'm not going to reach out to them. I refuse." You're not helping yourself. And you're essentially arguing with God. I don't really want help. Is what you're saying. And it's something that we can all do. Alexis, again, I love your comment. Alexis says, as a woman, it's sometimes difficult to know what men go through, or rather how emotional items show up. This is a listening and learning experience. Isn't that so true, right? It's not that complicated if you ask me. It's complicated because we as men are ultimately challenged until we learn. I say that as a man, really. I was talking about my wife the other day. I was like, look, I've had to grow up. And one day it dawned on me that I was my own problem. I was our problem. For years, I thought everyone was my problem. So Alexis, I see what you're saying, but I think most men, we just need to do. We find happiness when we accept that we have to bring our best self to every situation. There's no joy in freaking out and just lashing out at people and lashing out at them, blaming everyone. And said I've been happiest when I realized I can be happy. I can choose to be. If I'm not happy, fix the problem. And the problem is not other people necessarily. The problem is it's a thing. It's a thing. I can fix it. If I need more money, I work harder. I get more clients. I'm saying? Everything has a practical solution. And as a man, we just have to give ourselves a space not to be angry and to instead find the solution that will work for us. I thought I had someone join the studio. I don't know whether someone fell off. I can't see anyone there. Hopefully they'll come back. This is it. Yes, I don't know how you want to. How do you want to wrap up this conversation?
I love the fact that you are tipping faith earlier, but that was the conversation I was going to use, in wrapping up today. Now, the role of faith in all of this, being vulnerable and fear of opening up, because I believe it's very key. I believe it's very, very important. I believe it makes a huge difference in our life. For me, I'm a Christian entrepreneur, and I'm always proud to say this, that I trust in God, I believe in Jesus, and it's has been part of my journey as a man. And this has really helped me in dealing with issues that I go through, in seeing challenges, how I see things, how I see people, how I experience life generally. And I love what Mr. Ennis said earlier. It's when I go through stuff in life, one thing is I always know that God is involved. God is there. And one thing I always tell myself is this is not bigger than God. These challenges is not bigger than God. It might be difficult for me, but it's not difficult for God to do. It might be impossible for me, but it's not impossible for God to do. So for me, Having faith in God has really played a major role in going through life and being vulnerable. And I always say this, sometimes I write a letter to God. There are some things I might not be able to. I just write a letter. Okay, this is to God. I pour it all out on paper, like I'm writing a letter to heaven, to God, to hear what I'm going through right now. And it has really helped me so much in pouring out my heart before the Father, and also in a place of prayer. I pray so much. When I go through challenges, when I go through difficult times, I pray. I study my Bible. I talk to God about it. I like God. This is what I'm going through right now. What do you say? Direct me, lead me. Or who can I talk to? Who can I share this with? How can I go about it? So faith has a key role to play, and it's not something we should underestimate and say it does. It matters so much. Who do you believe in? Because if it's from the amount of trust I have in God that I can trust myself, it is from the amount of believing in God that I can believe in myself. I'm believing in myself because I believe in the God in me, that He can do this, He can make this work out, He can make everything align for me. So it has really helped me so much in my journey as a man. And that being said, it's more like no matter what you say about me, God has a better plan for me. That's not what God is saying about me. God is not judging me. God is not looking down on me. Yes, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail as a man. It's okay to mess up as a man. That's how we always say it is from your mess you become a message. If there is no mess, there is no message. So as a man, you've been going through the mess of being messed up along the journey. That's where your message comes from. If there is no trials, there is no triumph. So there have to be trials. You have to go through the challenge. Then from there, your testimony comes in. For most of us, one of the reasons as men we feel what we feel is because of the challenges we go through. So by faith or true faith, reframing your mindset about challenges is very important. Faith has really helped me to reframe my mindset about challenges. Faith has really helped me to reframe my mindset about obstacles, about the messes that happens, about the the things that go on along the way. Yes, it might be your fault. That's what makes it. It can be your fault. You might even be the one that messed up. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if it's your fault. That's not the end of the world. A lot of people mess up, but what happens after you mess up? Can you pick yourself up from the mess and change the mess to become your message? Can you, from the test, have your testament? Because it is from the test you have the testament. It's from the mess you have the message. If you have not gone through the test, there is no way you have your testimonies. There is no way you have your testament. So me having faith in God has really helped me in that aspect to really change my mind on how I see things. God is not judging me. It's in my Bible. God is not judging me. In fact, He loves me. He wants the best for me at all times. If God wants the best for me, so I should always have the best for myself as well, no matter what happens, no matter the challenges, no matter how far I've messed up. There is still hope for me. I was reading the Bible, it said, it's not the mind of God that anyone should perish. It is not God's mind that you commit suicide. It's not God's mind that you be in depression. It's not God's mind that you are in that place where you feel like taking your life. That's not God's mind for you. God's mind is that you live your best life. You live in love, you live in joy, you live in peace. You enjoy life to the fullest. That you are doing well in your business, in your family, in your relationship. That's God's mind for you. So if that is God's mind for you, that should directly affect your mind for yourself, no matter what you go through, no matter the challenges. When I read my Bible, always tell me that I know the thought I have for you is of good. So you might be going through a challenge right now. God's thought for you in this challenge is for good. The season you are right now might be the toughest season in your entire life, but God's mind for you in this challenge is for good. So having faith in dealing with this is very important. Do not take it for granted, because at the end of the day, everything you know are variables. Everything you know are variable. The only constant factor in our life is God. He's the only one that is constant. Government changes here and there. Economic changes here and there. The dollar to pounds rate changes here and there. The dollar to naira rate changes here and there. The business, the profit you made yesterday and the one you're making today, it varies. It changes from one figure to another. But the only one who remains constant is God. There are days you might call the friend that you know, and the numbers might not be reachable. You cannot reach them probably because their mobile phone is down or they don't have access to the internet or something might happen. But there's one that we always have access to is God. When you die, the number is always available. So having faith is very, very important as men. What do you have faith in? And how much are you strong on your faith? Because God in your life is everything you will need. Because in God, all things consist. So don't try to do life all by yourself. Always remember faith in God is not negotiable. It's not something you can do without. It's something that makes your life more meaningful. It's something that makes your life much more better. I tell you, from the moment I began to have faith in God, I can't remember the last time I had no swing, or I'm in that place of, oh, I'm so depressed, I want to take my life. No, no, no. Are there circumstances that might warrant it? Yes, of course. Have I been through challenges that might make me be? Yeah, of course, I've been through challenges. I've been in that place, in situation where it might make me feel like that. But because I trust God, because I believe in God, I can never feel like I can never be in that place again. Why? Because I know a better way. I have a better thinking. I have a better approach to tackling challenges, to tackling difficulties that happen in my life. So, can you be vulnerable as a man? Yes, you can be vulnerable. There is no need to be fearful about opening up. You can open up. There is solution in opening up. There are miracles in opening up. There are possibilities in opening up. And there's so much that can happen in opening up. And I encourage you, anyone out there right now, you are going through a challenge, you are not alone. It's a reminder to tell you that we love you. You are loved. You are important. You are amazing. You are the best. Do not look yourself less because of the mistake you've made. Do not look yourself less because of the mess you found yourself. No, you are still the best person that you are. You are still the one that is loved. You are still the one that is valuable. You are still that person that is important. It doesn't matter the mistakes. We have all been there. But how do we move forward? It's what is very, very important. That's why for me, I always talk about positivity and having positive cycle, having positive people around your life. The people in your cycles matters a lot. So ask yourself right now, what are the people in my cycle? What are the people that I can trust? What are the people that I can be vulnerable to? Do not do life alone. So have people in your cycle, because at the end of the day, your association determines your destination. If you are associating yourself with people who are positive minded, who are learning from their mistake, who have a growth mindset, you can never be in that place of depression. Why? Because being around them will rub off on you. Being around them will have a major impact in your life. Being around people like that who always see solution in the midst of the problem, who always find a way to make it work, who always find a way in the midst of the mess, in the midst of the tough time. These are the people that will change your life and help you become a better person. So we encourage you out there, share this message. You can watch the replay. It's the replay is always there on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Feel free, watch the replay, even on Facebook. Share to more men. Let's inspire more men. Let's encourage more men, because men are going through so much. And the ability for us to be there for them, to remind men that of who they are, of how important they are in the society, and what it means to have them around. It's one way we can be able to save more life, to encourage more people, and have more positive and happy men who are free to truly express themselves, their giftings, and their talent, and to be able to make more impact in the world. So it's been an amazing conversation. And I believe it's something we can talk on and on and on and on, and we can be here for hours. It's inexhaustible. But because of the time constraints, we'll be calling it a day here. And I will just let Mr. Ellen to share his last thoughts even as well. We wrap up the show for today.
That's again amazing share, my friend. But do we have another week between now and the end of the month, or is next Friday the
It's
last
yes.
Friday?
Next Friday is our last Friday. We are doing our gratitude experience that day. We'll have done a series on this, but then our
Yeah, and
gratitude experience.
it'd be nice, isn't it, to have another conversation, maybe a specific part. I don't know. Watching the replay. Welcome, Linda. So great to have you here. And Linda is a superstar. And she talks, emotions and dealing with traumas. And I think, we say we need to be open to all the sources of help that we have around us. There's many people who can help us. I love Alexis says, women do appreciate when men choose to confide or talk with them. Right? Again, listen, this is one of our main problems. Men don't want to talk. It's not because someone told us not to. We just struggle to find the words. And like I said, maybe it's the fear of the emotions that may come out. But I think being open to talking, whether it's with our partners, our family, our friends, that's where happiness comes from. Right? Being able to talk and share how we feel. We're much less frustrated, much less, much less. What's what I'm looking for? Just annoyed. I'm feeling like no one's listening to me, no one cares. People do care. People do care. They're not going to laugh at us when we talk to them. I don't find anyone talks to us anyway. Anyone laughs at us anyway. No one's ever laughed at me. That's a fact. I agree with you. It's important for every one of us to learn to respond to vulnerability. If someone does shares their pain with you, how do you respond? Really? The men who have learned to be vulnerable are better fathers, sons, and partners. Again, we all have a role to play to be that listening ear, that sounding. So, look, the alternative is that our sons turn to the weirdos of this world, Andrew Tate's, the freaks on the internet that spew women hating ideas, and you're just like, why would you even want to listen to that, right? That's why I think this conversation is so important, Mr. Z. I think we do need to have more of these conversations, and the conversations they are being had. My friend Curtis Brooks, he talks about men's emotional well-being, emotional health issues. Different time to us because he talks, it's the US, he talks late at night. But he talks in a serious sense. Where does this thing come from that we're talking about today? This don't talk, don't share how you feel, don't share your emotions. It comes from somewhere, and for many men, we shake our heads because we're like, where does that come from? I've never told my son that. So, when my son's heard it from somewhere, is it from school? Is it on TV? Is it the internet? Where these things coming from? We do have to ask because it is robbing our sons of the happiness that the world deserves. Really. So as you say, that's a fact. The benefit is not just for men. It's because everyone benefits. We are happy men. There's something we can't hide. We live happy lives. We're men. We live happy lives. Yes, despite all the problems that life brings us, we still survive. We still smile. And we still ask for help. And be there for other people who need help as well. So I think maybe the last thing I'll say today, Mr. Z, is that we need to embrace being loving people. So a lot of people don't want to say that they care about anyone or anything unless it involves money and involves someone that you're gonna unless it involves money and some sort of sexual relationship. But genuinely, I say caring about people in your heart, wanting good for the world, wanting good for others. That's something that we can all do. It costs us nothing. So let's be the loving, caring people that we were born to be. That's our authentic selves. Let's live that life, and then everyone benefits. Society benefits. We benefit, and everyone benefits, right? My friends, look, we're back here again next Friday. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you so much. If there's places that you can go to get help, then please, go along. Already, I see you got a long message. This counts possibly. True strength is recognizing and managing it wisely, seeking support when needed, and continue to move forward with purpose. I agree with all of that. When vulnerability is understood, it can become the pathway to resilience, growth, healing, and stronger human connection. Thank you, Mr. Z, for creating an important conversation for the benefit of men, families, and society as a whole. Maybe this is where we need to go as in terms of this room, Mr. Z, really, getting men to be happier men, better. But we'll explore how we'll do that as time goes on.
Yes. After this good experience, we can continue on that and continue on the conversation. So that's I think this topic is very powerful for series. It's not just about talking about being vulnerable. How can we make happy men? How can we have more happy men in our society? What can we do? What are the practical steps, that to make men more happier? So I think that's another topic for great conversation. So after next week is our gratitude experience, we can dive on that to see, how that leads us. So, but I know it's going to be a great one, and we're going to get more people to get involved and have a great conversation.
You see, part of me thinks women have their issues as well.
Of course.
Which I think it may come down to the same thing: is what the media is telling us. Suddenly, being a man is a bad thing. It's toxic masculinity. And it's a thing. It's a real thing. Our boys are failing at school. Our boys are not. They're not going to university. They're not getting jobs, and they blame them. Whose fault is that? But I know women have exactly the same issue. So maybe we talk about men and talk about women.
I think we can split it. So this week about men, upper week can be about women, so that we can have robust time, to really dive in and have this conversation. So it's really a great one to really have, and also to inspire not just men but also women alike, because even women need help just as men do. Women has emotion, they go through stuff just as men do, and the ability for us to balance the scale is very important, so they will not say we are biased because you are men.
Exactly that. Dr. Roxana, thanks for joining us today. To the fantastic Karen and Joan, Lady K and Lady J. If you haven't been to their show, then
they had a show today.
Yeah. Is it today? Someone said,
yes,
send me a link, please. Send me a link. I used to get notified by links.
It's on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube.
Okay, share the link, please.
Okay, yes, I will.
Then brought them to the life, mind, body, and soul, something like that, right? So
yeah.
Enrichment of life, mind, body, and soul. I've been on there a couple of times. Look, Funmi, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining the studio. Everyone else, look, enjoy your weekend. Connect with each other, connect with us, of course. So let's keep the conversation going. Mr. Z, you take care. We're going to talk tomorrow anyway, right? So,
yes, of course. Yes. Cool. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.